And hello, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. This is Trav from the Trav and Subi channel, Travis and Mary Sue channel. And as you can tell, it's Christmas, or just finished Christmas. It's actually December 27th, 2019. And it's been a long time since we've been back on video. And we're gonna try to do a little bit better job of that. One of the things that I wanna talk to you about is I sort of fell off the wagon this past year. As you know, if you follow this for a while, I lost 60 pounds 2 years ago through doing keto, just some moderate exercise. I was actually running some 5Ks. Earlier this year, I set a goal. I was gonna run a half marathon, and I was doing really well, running up to eight or 9 miles. And then sort of the wheels fell off for my year. A lot of things started going on, a lot of stresses, a lot of extra work, an illness in the family, cancer that we wound up losing my brother-in-law earlier this year. Some other things going on, so that didn't work out, the exercise part. And as part of that, also sort of fell off the wagon with my food. As you all know, I have both Hashimoto's Thyroiditis and also Eosinophilic Esophagitis, which of the two, the EOE, which is the eosinophilic esophagitis, is actually the worst for me because it really restricts what I could eat. A lot of the things that I was doing well on with keto, I couldn't eat anymore. I can't eat nuts anymore because they hurt. Wound up going to the ER a couple of times with some foods that I ate that I was not really aware that I was allergic to. And for those of you who don't know with EOE, it's kind of like a really severe food reaction. It's not quite an allergy because allergies have different, they manifest themselves different ways. Use that $10 word there. Allergies, you'll have a runny nose or maybe a rash or something like that. The anaphylactic is an allergic reaction where your throat pinches off. This is different than that. It kind of hits down in your esophagus and will close off that into the stomach, and everything just kind of stops there. But basically your esophagus starts turning very rigid. All the little loose bends and flows and curves turn into really hard angles, a lot of ridges. That's what happens when I eat nuts now. It just kind of stops right as it's going from the esophagus down into the stomach area. The little sphincter there stops, and very painful. So some depression because of that. Again, stress eating. And what you find out is that when you're on EOE or something like that, carbs are your friend because they don't hurt. There's no pain involved with that. And then, of course, you get off your diet and the Hashimoto's kicks in. So then you start having adrenal fatigue. Matter of fact, this is the first week I've had off this year. I took a few days throughout the year. That's something else I need to work on for this year, is taking more time for myself. Not really great at that. I'm very committed to my job, committed to everything that if I throw myself into something, it's 100%. And unfortunately, I don't throw 100% into myself enough. So adrenal fatigue sets in. You start grabbing for a Coke or sugar or something like that. And I did that. And that 60 pounds that I lost 2 years ago, I've gained quite a bit of that back. I'm about 7 pounds away from gaining all of that back, so not cool. So my wife and I have made a commitment. We're going to get back on this year. Studied up on some things we're going to try. But anyway, first off, Christmas was awesome. And as far as my diet goes, I blew it out for that. Hey, I'm starting on the day after Christmas. Let's just enjoy life a little bit. All the cookies, the cakes, the pies, the casseroles, the you name it, yeast rolls, which is like my weakness. Love those things. I just blew it out, you know. So December 26th was when I started, which was yesterday, and getting back on this. But spent a lot of time with my family. All my relatives came over. My wife and I host her family, so place is full of people, kids, laughter, love, awesome. My son came home from college. He's a senior in school, so this is one of the last times he's going to be here, as you know, for an extended period of time, because when he graduates in May, more than likely he's going to move out, find an apartment, get a job, and it looks like it's not going to be anywhere close to where my wife and I live. So enjoying having him here, and it's really tickled because my daughter Cassie and her husband David are expecting our first grandchild coming up in January. So my daughter was very pregnant, very beautiful, glowing, very beautiful pregnant lady. And just so sweet. So of course the baby already monopolized this Christmas, of course, because Mimi and Paw Paw, which is what my wife and I are hoping to be called, spoil the grandbaby already. And of course, as we know, when the grandkid comes along, it doesn't really matter what my wife and I want to be called. Whatever the baby calls us, that's what we're going to be, and we will love it. So anyway, lots of fun there. But then the food, like I said, we just overdid it. So getting back on that, and I got a couple of things that I'm going to work on this year, and I'm going to share this with you. It's kind of like my goals for 2020 that I'm starting on already. First off is food. I'm getting back on keto, and I've found out that doing 100% straight keto as we've been doing it really doesn't work well with the EOE. So what I've found though is that rather than adding foods in, if I subtract foods, kind of like intermittent fasting, when these reactions take place, if I just let my stomach rest, my esophagus, not my stomach, my esophagus, the immune system there, if I just let it rest and let everything kind of calm down, get out of my system, that actually works better. So I'm going to do keto with intermittent fasting. So like yesterday, my first day, I fasted for 18 hours, and part of that was just to kind of get everything out of the system, you know, the sugar, the soft drinks, the carbs, and everything. And then that worked out pretty well. So today, I'm pretty much going to do the same thing. Probably going to have lunch. So that would be, I quit eating yesterday around 6, so 12, another 18-hour fast. And then I'll get back into more of a routine after I sort of get this first couple of days out of the way. My wife and I got one of those Ninja Foodies, the 7-in-1's, got the air fryer, the crock pot, the Instapot, I forget whatever, it probably even has a charcoal grill in there that I haven't found yet. But anyway, we're gonna try that. All the keto sites that we follow, that people are just raving about this. So looking forward to that, and we'll probably post some videos on some of the things that we cook on that, the experiments that we're gonna do. Let's see, what else? This is going to be probably the hardest one for me. I'll just go ahead and share that one. I haven't put it number 2, but it's really important, is sleep. I don't sleep. I have never slept. I have had night terrors and nightmares since I was a little kid. My parents' method of treating that probably wasn't the best. My dad didn't know what to do with this. We just locked me in my room and said, "Shut up, you're crying, there's nothing in there." And meanwhile, I'm in there having this night terror and just screaming and hollering and everything. So a little scarring there, I guess, I'm still trying to overcome. But I've just never felt safe at night. Talked to a therapist and everything. We can't figure out the root cause of it. Could have been some abuse or something like that I don't know about. Again, when you get something like an autoimmune thing, one of the triggers is having some kind of a traumatic experience in your past. And I've had several. And who knows, maybe that's one that's repressed that hasn't come out yet. But anyway, I don't sleep very well. 7 to 9 hours is what someone my age is recommended to get. I am doing good to get 5 hours. I lay in bed a lot, just kind of staring around, but that doesn't really count. So I'm going to work on sleep. And along with that is I'm going to work on being more relaxed this year, because I'm a pretty high-strung person from time to time. I internalize a lot. And that's not good, again, with the adrenal fatigue that sets in, and the tendency to stress eat. And I'm sure that the diet has had a lot to do with that, because you can't sleep or relax when you're got a bunch of sugar and caffeine in you. So I know 2 years ago when I did keto, I was doing much better at this. So we'll see if that works again. Let's see. I'm also going to start or resume meditating. I was doing really good about this up until about a week ago. My son came home from college. He had surgery. I've been doing a lot with him, staying up with him. My wife and I have. Then of course we had all the family things for the week, so it's just sort of off my schedule. So it's been about a week, but I had probably meditated about every day for the past 90 days prior to that. So really love doing that. It's sort of my time, and that's something I don't get a lot of. So I usually wait till my wife goes to bed, and I'll say I'll be in about 30 minutes. I go to our living room, shut off all the lights, and I have an app called the Calm app. And I just find one of their guided meditations, and I do that, and it's works out really well. So I'm going to try to do more of that this year. And then finally, get back into the exercise. I need to do that. What I found is if I try to do keto or dietary restrictions or modifications by itself, I don't do as well. But at the same time, if I just do exercise without watching what I'm eating, that doesn't work all that well either. But if I do both at the same time, for me, it helps me stay focused. It all sorts of works together. It complements each other. It kind of motivates me to keep it going. Reminds me that I have to drink a lot of water, which is very important also. So again, going to get back into that. I've been going to Planet Fitness. I started back yesterday on that. And I'll probably try to give you a tour on that as best as I can. I know you can't really go in there. I'm not going to record inside Planet Fitness unless there's no one else in there, because I wouldn't be respectful to everybody else who's working out. They don't want their jiggling butts on my YouTube channel. So anyway, I'll walk you through that, because I do have a goal. I do want to run a half marathon, and my goal is to do that this year. There's some coming up toward the end of the year, August, September, that I think I can be ready by then. When I do my exercise, I'm going back to doing the Maffetone Method. Phil Maffetone, Dr. Phil Maffetone came up with this, and it's basically you keep your heart rate at a certain level. It's not like going hardcore, like the American way. We're gonna go hard out, as hard as you can. You know, no pain, no gain, stuff like that. This is you control your heart rate by wearing a heart monitor, which I have, and the calculation is 180 minus your age. So I'm 51 now, so my maximum target heart rate is 129. And you say, wow, that's not going to work. You got to really bust it loose. You know, you got to go hardcore with this. No, instead of going hardcore for a short amount of time, you try to keep going for a longer period of time. So like I use an elliptical because I'm kind of be aware that I've gained some weight. I'm protect my knees. I use the elliptical because it's not too hard on that, and just go a longer distance. What I like to do is pop a podcast on my iPhone, listen to something, you know, some business training or something motivational, or even something else just kind of humorous to keep me going. And I find one that has a time period that I want to exercise for that day, and I match up with that. That way I'm tuned into that and doing the exercise, and the exercise just kind of goes pretty quickly. So anyway, there's my goals for 2020. I'm already starting. Looking forward to a great year. I know that some of this will be on my own because my wife does not exercise. She flat out never has liked it, never will do it. Her idea of exercise is chasing the worm around the worm bucket so she can catch it and put it on the hook and go fishing. That is her idea of exercise. You know, as she says, as the joke goes, if you see her running, there's either a bomb or a bear, so try to keep up. I, on the other hand, really get into it. And again, wish my son was not recovering from surgery, because he's usually my buddy that goes to the gym with me. He is into the HIIT training, the high interval or high intensity interval training. So when he found out I was coming back for this, he texted me a bunch of HIIT training programs. He goes, "This is what I like to do, Dad." Yeah, he's 21 and in really good shape. So maybe I'll get to that. I'm going to kind of build this base of cardio first with the elliptical, and I do some weights and some sit-ups and things like that. But we'll get there. But anyway, my goal is to lose back down to that 60 pounds that I've mostly regained, maybe even lose a little bit more. And I was really close last time, and do a better job of taking some vacations this year. Again, I've worked all year. Where I work as a financial institution, you by law have to take 5 consecutive days off so they can catch fraud and things like that. Even though I don't deal with money in my job, I still follow that law. So I took the 5 days off at the end of the year. And I told a friend of mine that at work. She goes, "You have not taken off your time yet, and you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to burn yourself out. You've got to do this." And by this time, like I said, I was just barely making it through the end of the year. I was limping through to Christmas to get done. So my goal is to go ahead and take some extra time off next year for me. And you know what's going to make it easier is I'm going to have a new grandbaby. So it'll give me an excuse to take some days off to go up there and spoil my new granddaughter or grandson. My daughter and her son or her husband are not finding out what they have. They're going old school on that, which is kind of cool. Makes it hard to shop because you can't buy pinks or blues. You have to buy lots of browns and greens and yellows, but that's okay. I think it's really cool because we didn't find out with either one of ours either. So anyway, that's my plan. Thanks for checking back in, and I'll keep you posted. Probably the next one will probably be walking through Planet Fitness if they'll let me get away with that. But anyway, until then, have a great new year.